Here's nature's little hint saying that it's time to get the seeds out and plant the vegetable garden. Hi, this is Janet with Danelia Design. Today we're outside in the Tiki Bar, which I have way too much fun with, but that's a whole other video. But I want to talk about the vegetable garden. It's mid-February and we are zones 9A, which means we can start thinking about sowing some crops directly into the ground and starting some seeds indoors. So I just got my Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds in the mail. And I know it sounds funny, but this is several weeks of coveting every seed possible, and I have a limited amount of space of what I can grow in my garden. I do have some seeds left over from last year that I stored, hopefully stored well enough that I can get them to germinate this year. So I didn't buy any tomatoes this year, which is normally what everybody does. But I tried to find things that you can't typically find in the grocery store. Just for something different, something more unique, and hopefully they'll work. So let's take a look. And first thing is cabbage or sauerkraut, which I make religiously every 6 weeks or so. I'll leave a link to the blog down below and you can check that out, how I make mine. Cabbage is my favorite vegetable, and I don't know how that can be a thing, but it is. Cooked any way, raw, in a salad, steamed, baked, stir-fried, you name it. So I've never grown this before, so let's hope this works. Secondly, I bought these carrots, which I thought were really neat, and I'm assuming it's NIF, like gnome with a silent G, and I've never grown these here in this climate. They are a cold weather crop, as are the cabbage. So I can sow these directly in the ground, and within 3 months I'll have carrots before the weather gets too hot and they won't grow. Same with these beets. Check out this candy cane, amazing Dr. Seuss looking thing. One, I love beets. I love them in salads. I like to make borscht, which is a beet and cabbage soup. So hopefully I'll have all the ingredients because it's beets, carrots, cabbage, celery, I'm close, beef stock and whatnot, but I'm excited about these. And so these are Kyogia, and I had to Google the pronunciation for these. I'll put these in the ground in the same area where I'm adding the carrots, and hopefully within a couple of months I can start making soup. I always do cucumbers. And I like the Armenian cucumbers. One, they get really big, and you can eat the skin, which is fantastic. So it makes really easy prep time in the kitchen. They're super flavorful. They're actually a melon. They're part of the melon family. So they don't have that true cucumber with the large seeds, so you can eat the whole thing. So those I'm gonna grow again. I grew them last year. And pickling cucumbers, because I do like to ferment my own vegetables, and my amazing husband bought me this huge fermentation crock for Christmas this year, so we're going to put it to good use right after I make the sauerkraut. I always do melons, some kind of melon, and I chose a crane melon. These are from Santa Rosa, California, where I used to live, and we used to be able to go out to the Crane Ranch, the Crane Melon Farm, and get them fresh. They're kind of a cross between a honeydew and a cantaloupe, but I think they're better. It may be too hot for me to grow them here, but I'm going to start them now, and hopefully, I know I keep doing this because some of these things I'm just trying it out. If I can get them to grow, fantastic. And if not, seeds are not that expensive, so try. Go online, do a little bit of research, see if you're in the right zone. But just try, because you might get lucky. And I'm hoping I do with those. Second melon I bought, it is an orangey yellow colored watermelon. Supposed to be super sweet. There's not a lot of seeds to them, so I'm jazzed about that. At first I thought it was some sort of a Hawaiian pronunciation. Le'ilana. It's just, I just butchered that. Totally messed this up. Le'linao. our Leela nows.
Hooray!
So, two different kinds of peppers, two different kinds of jalapenos. I make pickled jalapenos that I end up giving away to friends, to family, to my hairdresser. Shout out to Mel. And my husband cannot get enough of these, and every time I give a jar away, he gets a little upset. But I do can my own taqueria style jalapenos that are to die for. I'll put a link down below to the recipe for these. I always grow bell peppers. I do not like green bell peppers. Not since I was a kid. People put them on pizza, and I don't like them. But I do enjoy the red, yellow, the orange. I like the sweetness to them. These are supposed to be super sweet, more fruity than that sharpness of a green bell pepper. And these apparently can grow up to a half a pound each. So I think that should be enough to fulfill any salad need that we have, or if we do make pizza. These are the bell peppers I'm putting on. I always grow squash, always grow zucchini. I have some seeds left over from last year, some part of different packets of different varieties, eggplant, tomatoes. I didn't order any of those because I have the seeds for them and I stored them correctly. They should work. But I wanted to try growing these white scalloped squash. I try to find anything that's a little unique, and these are kind of common. I've seen them before, but anything you grow yourself is just going to taste better. You know it's going to be healthier, and there's just such satisfaction between, you know, putting this in the ground and watching this amazingness that Mother Nature does and just gives you this bounty. It's fantastic. So all of these seeds, which will fill up most of the garden aside from some tomato plants and whatnot that I'll put in, I spent $36.50 on all of these, and Baker Creek sent me, after you spend $15, I think they send you free packets. So I have these spoon tomatoes, which I've never grown, but they look kind of fun. They're supposed to be really sweet. I'm sure they're more like snacking tomatoes because I don't know what else you would use them for, but that'll be fun. And secondly, they sent me some baby bok choy. Now look at this kid. If that's as large as they get, I'm assuming they'll have some of the nutritional value like a microgreen would, just compact and nutrient dense. But I do love bok choy. I like making stir fries, and I just started making kimchi. This may be a little too small for that, but we'll see. So that's my 2023 haul and the vegetables that I'll be growing, and hopefully we'll see some videos in the future with things doing what they do. From Park Seed. So every year I have had the best success with their seed starting system. And it's about, this is my 4th season I'll be using it. So I wanted to change out the interior of the styrofoam cells. And you'll see what that is in a minute. So here's the styrofoam. There's 40 cells in here. It goes into a little mini greenhouse, and I have never had any issues with growing seeds, like 100% germination. So the styrofoam that I had from before, I left it outside too long. It grew green. So it didn't look good, and I tried bleaching it, and I just figured I'm going to start over. I still have the greenhouse itself, but I'll use the cells. And along with that, if I don't feel confident enough from the small cells to put straight into the garden, a lot of times I will plant them into these. They're cow pots, and they do not smell bad, but they're made out of cow manure or partially cow manure, and they break down over time, which ends up being good for your garden soil as well. So here are the little cells. Move this down. And if I take one of these out, you can see what they look like. just that. So you soak them in water first. You put one little seed in the middle. I'm not kidding, one seed. And then you add them into the styrofoam. This sits inside of the little greenhouse, which I have in the garage and didn't grab. I do have a blog about how great these are, and I'll leave the link to that. So here we are getting started in the garden mid-February. If you were lucky to have, I think it's zone 7 and above, you can start mid-February to get some seeds in. Some of them I'm going to start in the house, and the others I can sow directly into the garden. But we really should be past all the frost at this point, at least where we are. So that's it. And thank you for stopping by. I really do appreciate you watching me do this silliness that is my life. I love gardening, I love cooking, I love crafting. I love all of those things that somewhere along the lines, maybe I should have been a 1950s housewife, but that didn't work out. So, thank you. Hope you come back, and happy growing.